morning, guys. I had to come down here this morning because curiosity really got me. But I had to share this experience with you because this is a first for me. So I've been coming up to these woods. I'm 57 now, but I've been coming up here since I think I was about 9 months old. And I had a first time experience. And that was last night. I came into the woods, and in the dark, because I very seldom ever carry a light up here, I heard a shrill scream. I bet you it wasn't more than 30-40 yards away from me. And I've heard screams like this before, but it's hard for me to differentiate between what it might be. I think it was either a mountain lion or I think it was bobcat. Both of them sound kind of familiar, and if you ever heard one scream at nighttime, it is the most eerie, frightful sound you've ever heard. But it was pretty cool. I ran back to the cabin and grabbed my camera, and well, I should say I snuck back to the cabin and grabbed my camera and tried to real quietly creep back out in the woods to see if I could get it on video for you. But obviously those animals have better night vision than I do, and I wasn't able to catch them. But came back this morning to see if maybe there was a den or something of sort in the area, and this is what I walked in on. You know, just this foggy, creepy area. It was pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna finish my little morning walk here, and I think shortly I'm gonna get back to the cabin, and a lot of this fog is gonna burn off, and I think we're gonna have a beautiful day today. So we'll start collecting some of this sap and get to making some maple syrup. We're midway through February, and it's hard to believe that it's been as warm as it has been here. On the weekends, oddly enough, it drops to like close to 0 degrees, but middle of the week it's been warming up to 40-45 degrees. So I know this is extremely early in Wisconsin to be tapping trees, but I just want to give it a whirl. You know, all the weather conditions are perfect. When it is below freezing at night and well above freezing during the day, usually that's time to go ahead and collect the sap. So I'm only going to show you me tapping one tree because it'd be too redundant for me to show you everything. But basically, the way that I do it is, because I'm relatively new to collecting maple syrup, I just use a simple spile, and then I hang a bag and bracket off of it. And I'll show you that bag and bracket next. But all that you're going to do is you want to drill in anywhere from 2 to 2.5 inches. And I usually keep it roughly about 3 feet up on the tree. And then, you know, obviously make sure you get all your shavings out. And then it's just a matter of tapping your spile in. And with these spiles, they do have a hook that's up on top to hold the bag and bracket. So do as I say, not as I do. Milwaukee Tool would hate me for this, but I don't want to run back and grab a hammer. I give it a few taps so that it's really secure. And then I'm going to grab this bag here. And simply, these brackets have a hole on the back side,
It's got a spring-loaded mechanism on the inside that you fold the bag around. You slide the two together, and it's as simple as just put the spile inside that hole, and we'll give it some time to soak. And by the time we come back at the end of the week, I'm expecting these bags to be pretty darn near full. On some of the bigger trees, they may be overflowing, but it's as simple as that. All right, guys, I can't take credit for this, but this is an evaporator that I copied off my good neighbors Jim and Matt. Theirs is kind of similar to what we have right here. All that I did is I picked up like $40 worth of masonry block and stacked it 3 courses high, and then I put a decorative block on the top. And on one of the blocks, I knocked the outside wall out and then stacked these up. So, you know, as these are hollow, so that's going to act as our chimney. And all that we're going to do is we'll have 2 6-inch pans that I picked up from a restaurant supply company. I think they were normally like $25 a pan, and I paid the guy cash, so he gave them to me for 20 bucks a pan. But you simply put them in like that. That's going to close off the front. We're going to use this big paver stone that I had laying around from when we put the walk-in in the front of the cabinet to put across the front to hold the heat in. And then what I did is I left this intake on the bottom so that the fresh air will come in, it'll hit the fire, and then everything will go through that block that we knocked out and exhaust through the makeshift chimney. So, you know, for 40 bucks plus, you know, the 2 pans, we're under 100 bucks for this evaporator. And you know, everything on the internet right now is outrageously high. I was looking at beginner evaporators starting at like, you know, around $600 range, and you know, they go up as high as you could just imagine. All right, then I did the old Northwoods trick of using birch bark to get this going. This first time it's going to be really steamy until we can get that flue heated up. Birch bark is probably the most smoky type of starting stuff that we have here in the north, but we'll let it do its magic. And that's basically how we're gonna go ahead and handle our maple syrup this year. Okay, so you see the 2 lines there. The red one's going to be our concentrate, and the blue one is going to be our waste. And I'll just adjust this little valve here to get them to be about the same amount of stream. And sorry about the poor lighting, but I'm trying to figure out how to do this in a... Alright, so leave the concentrate in one bucket, and the pure water will go in this other bucket. And now it's as simple as just let the RO system do its work. And there you go. This will suck your sap, your original sap, out of your bucket. And yeah, it's just as easy as that. So I'm going to go ahead and put these lids on just to hold a little bit of weight so that my hoses don't pop out. And I'll let this operate, and I'll come back. I will give it maybe about half hour or so, and we'll see where we're at. All right, guys, so here's that makeshift evaporator that we threw together. You can see in the bottom right there is the only spot where we have oxygen coming in, and this actually acts almost like a jet stove. And you can see the very top where my chimney is, we don't have any smoke coming out of there. It's as clear as can be, and you can see hot vapors coming out. that tells me this thing's burning about as efficient as it possibly could. And then when you walk up, you can see that back pot especially, that sucker is just a boiling away. The front one is starting to boil, but I just got done putting a whole bunch of the ice chunks that were in our maple sap bags in there, so it cooled down a little bit. But yeah, you can already see it's boiling. Totally saves us on time. It's amazing, you know. Holy cow, that sun is bright. Last year it took us so long to evaporate. I think it was 30 some hours into evaporating. I think we had about 25 gallons of sap. It was just a really small operation. We were just starting out because we were brand new to maple syrup. We didn't want to burden ourselves and run too much. And between the RO system and what we have here, wow, we're increasing our production like crazy. This year we're going to up it a little bit to a lot of you guys. Let me get out of this bright sun. So to a lot of you guys, 40 gallons of sap probably doesn't sound like that much. I processed, I think it was about 24 gallons of sap last weekend. This weekend we're going to do another 40 gallons. So totally we have about 64 gallons of sap that we're going to be turning into maple syrup. And a lot of you operations, I know this is very, very tiny, but like I said, we're new to it, and I don't have all the time in the world to make this stuff, so we're trying to work more efficiently. And when I do get up to the cabin on the weekends, this is just a cool project that the whole family can get into. And Bailey loves it too. She's been running around like crazy all day. I think she's a little pooped out now. All right, I better get back to work. All right, we are back at home, and I am doing my final boil on the stove. And the way that you know when you finally get to the point where your sap is done being boiled, one of the tall tale signs for me, you can take the temperature with a thermometer, and I'll insert the degree on the bottom of the screen that it should be. The other thing is, check this out. All right, see how the sap is starting to boil up and it's foaming like crazy? That is a tall tale sign that all the moisture is out, and you're about ready to test with a manometer. So you can see I just turned the temperature off, or the burner off. You can see that we have this rolling boil is pretty much all done now, and now it's just starting to turn to that foam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the manometer and check this out for sugar level, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so we have our handy dandy flask and a ladle, and we're going to go ahead and put the sap in here until we're about 2 inches from the top. And we're going to place this in the flask. Ooh, I just burnt myself. And we want this to be buoyant somewhere in between these two red lines right here and here. So we go ahead and put it in there, and there we are. See how the one red line is still up in the air?
Right in the middle.
We're perfectly in the middle, which tells me this sap is now completely done and we have syrup. So we are all set. We're going to go ahead and get our filters ready, and we'll try to go ahead and filter out any, they call it, is it called maple sand?
I don't know.
I think it's maple sand or sediment that's in the syrup. Your syrup will turn...
Stuff you don't want in there.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and we'll filter that next. But I'm going to cut the camera here and we'll get to cleaning a little bit.
Ooh, I get to get the baby jars.
We got the baby jars. These are fun to give away.
Right, we finally got everything filtered off. We didn't show the filtering process because we use nothing fancy for filters. We ended up buying some filters at the place where we ended up getting our spiles in the bags that collected the sap. And I really couldn't advise you on that yet because we're still kind of experimenting on what filters are best for taking the sand out of the syrup. But we were lucky enough to get 11 pints of maple syrup this year. And then we always like to have these little jars that we give away to different friends. They're kind of cute and people appreciate it. So, you know, it's just a wonderful thing. If you ever produce your own maple syrup, there's a great sense of satisfaction that comes from it. And truly, it tastes like nothing else. You know, it's just incredible. Usually in these videos, I like to give one helpful hint. And here's going to be your helpful hint for today. And that is when it came to cleanup, because we were boiling over a natural fire, the bottom of the pans were all full of soot. And a while ago, this is not a paid promotion or anything, but a while ago, Craig over at Squirrely Acres was having a giveaway, and I won this Super Clean from his giveaway. And this is not a commercial for it. I'm not going to give you a link or anything. If you're interested in it, you're going to have to do the legwork, and you're going to have to look up the website or whatever to order your own. But when I was cleaning those pans that we did the evaporating in, the bottom was full of soot, and I sat on one pan probably for about an hour, and I couldn't get all the soot off the pan, and it was driving me nuts. And so just on a whim, we went ahead and we tried the Super Clean. I sprayed it down once, and within 5 minutes the pans were as clean as what they're going to get, and we were just thrilled with the results. So that's my little helpful hint for this video. But thank you guys so much for sticking with us during this maple syrup process. I know sometimes it's not always the most entertaining, but hopefully we're able to teach you a new skill. So we'll catch you next time on Carl's Off the Grid.